Namaste, you're with Yogi Moksha. I'm Andrew, this is Vanessa. We've got another 90-minute functional yin practice for you today, and this is going to be focusing on the lower body. So working with the physical body in the lower half of the body. So the intention today, the way we're going to approach it, is we're going to start in the left side, so in the left foot, work our way up the side of the body before we move to the right hand side and follow the same path through the right hand side of the body, and then coming together around the hip, lower abs area with with a single symmetrical posture before our Shavasana. So we hope you enjoy the practice. We enjoyed pulling it together. See you on the other side. So as always, we're going to start with some breath-based focus. So coming to a comfortable position, maybe just cross-legged, or if you want to sit on a block like I am, sometimes it helps just to keep the back straight. So a nice, comfortable, stable position. Bringing the eyes to a close if you're comfortable, or maybe just dropping the gaze towards the mat or the floor. Just starting to make the breath your sole focus. Feeling the breath entering and leaving through the nostrils. Always breathing in and out through the nose in our practice. And now as we settle into a nice natural breathing pattern, as we inhale, count 1. Exhale, count 2. Inhale, 3. Exhale, 4. Continuing all the way to 10. And then when we reach 10, just coming back to 1 and starting again. Maybe even visualize the numbers as you count them. Each breath in and out, just drawing us more inward, drawing our senses and awareness inwards, ready for the practice. So maybe taking a couple of deeper breaths, inhale and exhale now. Getting ready to move into our first posture. So blinking open the eyes if they were closed. Removing any props if they're there. Now, first target area, I'm going to start on that left leg. I'm going to start down at the toes. And the way we're going to do that is to come into Caesar or sort of kneeling posture. Keeping the block to hand for the next posture. And from here, we're going to take the hands forward onto the mat, taking some weight. And we're simply going to tuck the toes of that left foot. I know from previous videos that we filmed how much you enjoy the toe tucking, so we thought we'd bring it back. And here, just want to find that edge. If it's a little bit too intense, then just walk the hands forward. It'll take a little bit of weight off. And if you want a little bit more, then you can bring the whole weight of the body back onto that one foot. We're not here for much longer, another minute or so. So while we're here, just breathe into that left foot, the toes, the sole of the foot. Feel the stress, connective tissue stress across the sole of the left foot. Maybe even coming up into the left quad, front of the leg. And the healthy stress on the bones. Beautiful stress in the toes, coming up through ankle and the knee. Really feel the release when we change to our next posture. Just another 30 seconds or so. And the next inhale, just lifting that left foot, straightening out the toes, coming back onto extended feet. Now just taking a block under the left knee. All we're trying to do here is just introduce a little bit more stress as a sort of counter posture in the ankle than we've got in the right. We can use one block, or if you want more, you can use two. Again, not here for long. And again, we can moderate the amount of stress in that left ankle by coming forward to take some of the weight off, or bringing the weight of the body back. Vanessa's demonstrating from the other perspective. And have the hands down by the sides like Vanessa is. Again, can take a little bit of weight off that left ankle. Otherwise, just enjoying the connective tissue stress across the top of the foot, up the front of the calf, maybe coming up through the quad, and the stress in the bone, toes, ankles, knee. So with these two postures, really taking the ankle and toes to the extremes of their range of motion. Just a few more breaths here. Allow the breath to settle us into all of these postures. And you're ready, inhale, lift that knee, remove any props. Now our next target area is going to be the left quad. So we're going to leave the left leg bent and extend the right leg. and just come down sitting on the mat. If this is uncomfortable for that left knee, then you can place a block under that right buttock. So again, maybe clearer watching Vanessa with some of these to get the other angle. So just finding that edge, taking care of the left knee. Finding the edge, using the breath to relax the muscle in the left quad. And then as we relax, maybe we can open up a little bit. Might want to come back down onto elbows. Pause here. You could even put a bolster behind the back if you wanted to relax back that far. Or if you're comfortable, you can come down to the mat. Always just taking the lead from the target area, not forcing it, just allowing it to open. You take your arms overhead. You can even bend that right knee, foot on the mat, or allow the right knee to fall out to the side. And again, as final variation, if you wish, you could adjust the position of the head, turning away from the bent knee or from the left knee, so turning to the right will probably increase the stress in the left quad. There's a few options there, just find a combination that works for you today. And then we find stillness. Really feel like connective tissue stress coming up from the left quad. Maybe extending up towards or through the hip flexor, coming up towards the rectus abdominis. But our main target area is the quad, left quad. Taking a couple of deeper breaths here, getting ready for our next posture. So just straightening the legs, maybe leaning to one side, letting that left leg out. The target area is the left hamstring. And so there's a couple of ways we can approach this. Left leg straight, bend the right leg, bringing the heel in towards the inside of the left thigh. Vanessa's demonstrating, or if we prefer, we can take that right leg back behind us. Whichever variation you're comfortable in. Just going to bring the torso forward a little bit to introduce some stress there into that left hamstring. Finding the edge, pausing, completely relaxing all the muscles in the leg. Maybe using that inhale, exhale, exhaling, feeling the stress leave the back of the left leg. As it does, perhaps we can adjust, come forward, or if we're getting enough, just stay where we are. Come forward, we can support our head with a block, or just bring the head in towards the leg.
Continuing to use the breath to allow us to ease into the posture. Not necessarily to go deeper, but just to allow it to open. Remembering that time is more important than depth in yin. It's the time in the posture that generates those electrical and chemical signals that tell the body we want these areas strengthened and lengthened. Just about half a minute left to go. A few breaths until we can enjoy a well-deserved rebound. So again, maybe take a couple of deeper breaths. Just preparing our souls to move. When you're ready, next inhale, bring that body back up. Back down to lie flat on the back. And as we do with our rebounds, if we're comfortable, bringing the eyes to a close, or just a soft gaze somewhere. Bringing the attention to the area we've worked. So bringing our attention to that left leg, all the way from the toes, the big toe, right down to the ankle, coming up the back of the leg, the quad, a little bit of hip flexor. And just tuning into any sensations that are there. Getting ready again for our next posture, so a couple of deeper breaths. Preparing the body and the mind to move. Our next target area is going to be, staying on the left side, we're going to move up a little here from where we've just been towards the hip flexor and the lower rectus abdominis. So to do that, we're just going to roll over onto our front. We're going to keep the left leg straight, support ourselves on our elbows, and we're just going to bend that right knee, bring that up alongside the body. And straight away we're going to feel some healthy stress in the left hip flexor coming up through the left side of the rectus abdominis. Now, if we're not feeling anything here, then we can use, as if by magic, we can use a bolster or blocks just to elevate the elbows. It's going to give us more stress there in the hip flexor and the rectus abdominis. You can adjust the position of the knee and the ankle. That can also have an impact on the target area. And even try dropping the head to the right hand side, so drop the right ear to the right shoulder and just feel that pulling all the way down that left hand side, coming down through the chest, but right down to the target area in the hip flexor. So finding stillness here. Feeling that connective tissue stress originating down in the hip flexor, coming up through the rectus abdominis. Maybe even in the obliques if we have our head to one side. Maybe even coming up a little further on the left hand side. Some nice compression in the base of the spine there. Our main target area is down around and below the waist. So just bringing the mind back to the hip flexor. Left hip flexor. Maybe taking that couple of deeper breaths, inhale and exhale, getting ready to move to our next posture. Our target area for the next posture is going to be the left glute. So we're going to do that by just rolling back onto our back, bending the right leg, foot on the mat, and then bringing the bent left leg so the ankle rests just above the right knee. Now, for some of us, this may be as far as we go. We may get a good stress there in the left glute. Alternatively, you can raise the right foot with 1 or 2 blocks or the bolster. And again, that may be enough for some people. Otherwise, once we've found our edge and settled in, we can reach through behind the knee of the right leg, or even in front of the shin, on the shin under the knee. And just allow the body to fall back, and the weight of that to increase the stress on the left glute. Now, being mindful of the left knee, if you do get any pain there, then maybe come back to one of the other options on the block or just on the mat. But otherwise, just find your edge here. Use the breath to relax the left glute. Breathe into the left glute. Exhale. It's important to try and relax the left glute, because if we don't relax this muscle, then the stress comes straight down to the knees, which can be a problem. So making any adjustments and then just finding some stillness. So again, you could explore with the position of the head if you want. Generally turning away from the left-hand side to turning towards the right may increase the sensation. Otherwise, just settle in. Got another minute or two. And just enjoy the opening up of the posture. Again, taking those deeper couple of breaths. Getting ready for our move to the next posture. Just going to release the hands. Allow that right foot back to the mat. Our target area, now we're moving from the glute towards the base of the spine, sacrum, lumbar. So we're just going to take this left leg, drop that fully over the right, either just like that, or taking the left foot behind the right ankle again. And then we're just going to allow both knees to drop to the right hand side. You can choose which way to turn the head and observe the effect in the target area, so in the base of the spine, lumbar, sacrum, but also in the glute and maybe coming down the IT bend. Use the breath to breathe into that area. Exhale, relax. Maybe as the posture opens up, you can place the right hand on top of the left knee, not pulling down, just the weight of the hand. And you can extend the left arm up overhead or directly out to the side, as Vanessa's demonstrating. And just in that stillness now, exploring the connective tissue stress around the glute, but also a little bit further up in the oblique, the left oblique, and in the bones. A beautiful twist of the spine with some nice tension, some compression in the base of the spine around the lumbar and the sacrum. Taking a couple of deeper breaths now, ready to move into our next posture, which is going to be a rebound. So when you're ready, just inhale, bring those knees back to the center, unwind, and simply extend the legs, remaining lying down. Closing the eyes, arms and legs relaxed. And just taking the mind to the other part of the left side that we've just worked. Hip flexor, glute, the obliques, lumbar area. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. In your own time, rolling back up onto all fours, coming into Caesar again. And I think we can all agree that we enjoyed that so much we should do it all again on the right hand side. So we're going to start in Caesar. Maybe take a little bit of weight forward in the hands and then just tuck the toes of the right foot. Bringing as much weight as we want to back into that right foot, whether that's with our hands on the mat, hands on the knees, or even just sitting straight up. Get a clearer idea of the different foot positions from Vanessa there. And just relaxing the muscles in the right foot. Feeling the connective tissue stress there across the sole of the foot. Maybe coming up the front of the leg. Maybe even a little bit of tension in the quads for some of us. And of course, stressing the bones down here in the toes. Really taking the toes there to the extreme of the range of motion. And coming up through the ankle and the knee. And just a couple more breaths here. Just making sure we know where our block is for the next posture. Deep inhale. Exhale. And next inhale, lean forward and untuck those toes. So both feet straight, as Vanessa's demonstrating. And then just elevating that right knee with either one or two blocks. Try not to use blocks on the edge, not very stable. Could be a cause of an injury. All we're trying to do here is get a little bit more stress in the ankle than we've got in the left ankle. So a target area now is the right ankle. And feeling that stress, connective tissue stress all the way up the top of the foot, coming through the ankle, front of the leg. And of course the stress in the bones and the toes, taking the toes the other way, ankle and the knee. If you're halfway through and you want a little bit more, you can obviously add more height. But much better to just be sustainably in the posture and try and take yourself to the edge. Again, useful as Vanessa's demonstrating. If you want to, you can take a little bit of weight in the hands. There's another one more breath here. The next inhale. Lift and remove the block. Next target area is the right quad. So we're going to keep the right leg bent and extend the left. Now if that's not comfortable, then have your block to hand and you can pop a block underneath the left buttock. You're still going to get the
stress that you want there in the right quad. Otherwise, just coming down to sitting on the mat, finding that edge in the target area of the right quad, breathing in, using the exhale to relax the muscle, release the stress. If you're not getting any stress there, or things have opened up a little, we can come back, bring ourselves back onto the elbows. We could even put a bolster in behind the back lengthways so that we can lie down, take some of the weight of the body. And if we want, we can come all the way down to the mat, arms overhead. We can bend the left leg, leave it here, or even allow that left knee to drop out towards the left. So with all of these variations, just observe the effect in the target area. So here, observe the effect in the left quad, and just decide which works for you today. Try something different tomorrow. And again, position of the head, generally looking away from the target area, will increase the stress. You may feel a little something tugging down the right side. Maybe now taking a couple of deeper breaths. Inhale and exhale. Getting ready for the move to our next posture. So as we inhale, just straightening the legs, maybe rolling both legs out in front. Our target area is the right hamstring. So a couple of different ways we can get into that, as we did on the other side. We can bring that left foot to the inside of the right thigh, fold forward, or we can take that left foot, knee behind us. That really just depends if you're more comfortable with internal or external rotation in the hip. So maybe explore and see which works best for you. So whichever option we take, bringing the torso forward so we get some nice stress in the back of the right leg, the hamstring. Making sure that the leg muscles are nice and relaxed. Using the breath, breathing into the back of the leg. Exhale. Letting that stress leave the muscles, and maybe giving us the opportunity to adjust, come forward a little bit. Again, come forward, maybe supporting the head with a block, or using a bolster, or just allowing the body to come down towards the right leg.
And just finding some stillness. Exploring that connective tissue stress all the way up the back of the leg. Maybe even feeling it start in the sole of the foot, going all the way up the back of the leg, up into that right glute. Maybe continuing on up the right hand side of the back. Our target area today is the lower body. So the straighter we have the back, the more stress we're going to get in the back of the leg. The more we round the back, the more we're going to get in the upper body. Inhale and exhale, getting ready to move into a rebound. So on the next inhale, gently lift the torso, straighten out the legs, just coming back to lying flat on the back. Arms and legs relax, as Vanessa's demonstrating. Eyes closed. And taking the attention straight away to the area that we've been working through. So coming up from the toes, through the ankles, quad, so the front of the leg, back of the leg, the hamstring. And just noting what sensations arise. Again, maybe making that comparison between the right and the left side again. And seeing if the sensations are similar as we had on the other side. Just follow where they move, if they move at all. So our next target area is going to be the hip flexor. We're going to move further up the right hand side into the right hip flexor. lower side, right side of the rectus abdominis. We're going to do that by simply rolling over onto our front. You might want to have your blocks or bolster to hand. And just going to support ourselves on our elbows. From here we're going to bend the left leg at the knee and just bring that knee up alongside us. And we should already begin to feel some stress there in the right hip flexor. Also a bit of compression in the base of the spine. Allowing the breath to settle us in. Maybe open up the posture a little bit for us. So again, here some options we can explore with allowing the head to drop towards the shoulder, so the left ear towards the left shoulder. And maybe see if you get that little tugging down the right hand side, all the way down the right side to the hip flexor, rectus abdominis. If we're not getting much stress there in the hip flexor, we can elevate the elbows again. So you can use blocks or a bolster. And again, we can move the knee up and down or the ankle in and out. And you'll find that that also will affect the stress we feel on the front of the body. So finding that stillness. Just exploring that connective tissue. Stress in the right hip flexor coming up to the right side of the rectus abdominis. And if we've got the head leaned over towards the left, that may intensify it a little, may even bring it up into the right oblique. And healthy stress here in the left knee, femur, pelvis, hip joint. And some compression in the base of the spine as well, lumbar, sacrum. Taking a couple of deep breaths, ready for the move to our next posture. Target area is the right glute. We're going to target that. I'm just going to roll over onto our back. Going to bend the left leg at the knee, bring the foot to the mat, and then bring that right ankle just up behind the knee. So again, some of us may feel the glute stretch there already, or we can elevate that left foot. As Vanessa is demonstrating, we can also use a strap behind the left knee if we find it challenging to get the hand through there or in front. So plenty of options there, 1 or 2 blocks under the foot using a strap, or just reaching through and holding that bent left leg, allowing the body to come back down towards the mat. So again, finding the edge, relaxing with the breath. Breathe in. Exhale, feel the stress leaving that right glute. Feeling the connective tissue stress in the right glute. Maybe coming down the IT band there on the right leg. And of course a healthy stress in the knee, femur, pelvis, hip joint. If you're finding there's a lot of discomfort or pain in the knee, then just simply move back to one of the other options. Use the strap or foot on the block or on the mat. If we have too much tension in the glute and we try to force the posture, the stress goes straight down to the knee, which can cause injury. So be mindful of that. Otherwise, just relaxing into the posture. Allowing the breath to take us a little deeper. You're taking a couple of deeper breaths. Inhale, exhale. Gently release that left leg, left foot to the mat. The next target area is the sacrum, lumbar, maybe a little bit in the oblique. And we're just going to allow that right leg to come over the left leg either once or wrapping the right foot behind the left leg again. And then allowing both knees to just fall towards the left.
Just finding the edge here, using the breath to relax the muscles in the glutes and the side of the body, right side of the body. And maybe using the position of the head, so turning away from the target area, so turning to the right hand side is probably going to increase the stress there. You can place the left hand on top of the top leg, just allowing the weight and gravity to move those knees down a little bit. And you can also take the arm up above the head or directly out to the side. I think Vanessa's demonstrating. Just exploring that connective tissue stress all the way down the right oblique, glute, maybe even the other T-band. And the healthy stress in the bones around the base of the spine, sacrum, lumbar. Also down to the knee and the hips. In time for a couple of deeper breaths, ready to move into our rebound. So inhale, exhale. And when you're ready on the next inhale, bringing those knees back towards the centre, unwinding, and just simply extending the legs and continuing to lie on the back. Arms and legs relaxed. Bringing the attention to the areas we've just worked. So the upper part of the lower body on the right side. So taking the attention initially to the hip flexor, the glutes, the oblique. Just seeing what sort of sensations there might be in that area. Perhaps they stay in that area, or perhaps they move through the rest of the right hand side of the lower body. Perhaps they move all the way up and down the right leg and foot and toes. Just observing and noting.
So we've worked the left side of the lower body pretty independently from the right side of the lower body. So as we move towards our next posture, this is where we're going to start bringing it together. We're going to do one more asymmetrical, one more left and then right, but then we're going to do a nice symmetrical posture or version of that posture to bring it all together. So take a couple of deeper inhales and exhales, ready to move. We're going to stay lying on the back. Again, there's a few options here. So I think Vanessa will demonstrate some of these. We're going to start with the left hand side. We're just going to bend that left leg. Bring the knee up towards the chest. With the left arm, we can hold on the inside or the outside. We can even use both hands. The idea being to pull that knee in towards the mat or in towards the chest. If that's too much of a challenge, then as Vanessa is going to demonstrate, you can use a strap which you can tuck around the shoulder and around the sole of the foot. And using the strap really does allow you to relax quite a bit more into the posture. So our target areas here are glute, groin, so start to find the edge. Some decent sized muscle groups here to relax, so breathe in. Use the exhale to relax, particularly around the glutes. And each time you exhale, you may find that the weight of the arms, because we're not consciously pulling it in, but the weight of the arms or the strap is enough to just bring that knee a little bit closer to the mat. Just gently feel it open up. Some people find holding onto the toes an easier option. Healthy stress in glute and the groin, and also in the bones, so knee, femur, pelvis, hip joints in particular. Inhale and exhale. And now gently release that left leg back to the mat, straighten out. And again, preparing to do the same on the other side. So bending that right leg at the knee, bringing the knee in towards the chest, and then grabbing around the foot with one or two hands, or again using the strap as Vanessa's demonstrating there, nicely tucked around the shoulder. Finding your edge, using the breath to relax.
And for some of us, it's not going to be tension in the glute that's going to be the limiter here. It might be that we're compressing in the front, so we might have a bone-on-bone compression at the front of the hips. And if that's the case, you could try just bringing the foot out to the side a little bit. And again, there's nothing wrong with bone-on-bone compression so long as we don't try and force past it. In fact, that bone-on-bone compression is just another way of stimulating that electrical signal that tells the body that area needs strengthening. So just finding the stillness. Maybe finding during the posture that that knee's moving a little closer to the mat. Or maybe not. I don't think mine will move any closer towards the mat. Not in this lifetime anyway. Yeah, a couple more breaths here. Next inhale, just release that right leg back to the mat. And finally, bringing it all together. We're going to do the same with both legs. So bringing both knees up towards the chest. And again, same options. Hands outside, inside, or using the strap. Using the strap, as Vanessa's demonstrating, you can tuck that behind the neck and behind the shoulders. So whichever option you're using, again, just finding that edge. Using the strap can actually be a very relaxing way to get into and stay in this posture. Maybe feeling the posture open up as you exhale each time. Making any adjustments. And then finding some stillness. Stillness to explore. Connective tissue stress in both glutes now. And right throughout the groin. A couple of deeper breaths here, getting ready to come out of the posture into our well-deserved Shavasana. So on the next inhale, just release the feet. Slowly straighten the legs down onto the mat. Coming to lying on the back. Arms and legs relaxed. Maybe even closing the eyes. Bringing the awareness just for a couple of moments back to the breath. Back to the breath as we started the practice. Drawing the attention inward once more. Feeling the movement of the air as we inhale and exhale. And maybe as we move into our Shavasana, we can do so with just a little guided review of where we've been in the practice. So we started down at the left toe. So let's take the attention down to the left toe, maybe the sole of the left foot. And just visualize, if we can, on the sole of the left foot, a warm blue light or energy. Just pulsating or moving slightly, vibrating slightly. Relaxing. Wherever it is, it's relaxing. Now just move that light, that warm blue light, just move that down through the ankle, up through the calf, the shin, coming up to the knee. Moving up to the quad, through the hamstring. Left glute. Left hip flexor. Even up to the left oblique side of the body, the left rectus abdominis. Just pausing here and feeling that whole left side from the oblique down through the leg to the toe, full of that warm blue light. Taking the attention now to the right toe, big toe and the sole of the foot. Visualizing there again, more warm blue light or energy. Relaxing every area that it moves through. Relaxing the foot, moving up into the ankle, up the hamstring, the back of the leg, up through the knee, to the quad, up through the thighs, hip flexor, groin, all the way up the right leg. right glute, rectus abdominis, the obliques. Whole right side now also filled with warm blue light, relaxing that entire right side. Left and right sides now from the oblique down to the toes, full of that warm blue light. Which now moves towards each other through the hips. As we drew the practice together, the warm blue light comes together across the hips, through the pelvis, surrounding the lower torso, around the rectus abdominis, the obliques, the glutes. What was two blue energies is now one continuous blue light in the entire lower body. Gently pulsating, relaxing, warming. Just enjoy this sensation for a few more moments. And now gently bringing yourself back to the room. Bring your awareness back to the room. A couple of deeper inhales and exhales. Wiggling those fingers and toes. Maybe even taking the arms up above the head. And in your own time, just rolling to one side, coming back up to a seated position. Keeping the eyes closed if you can. Head just inclined slightly towards the mat or the floor. A couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, gently blink open the eyes. And lifting the gaze. Namaste.
Namaste, Vanessa.
Thank you so much for your practice. We continue to enjoy providing these practices. We hope you continue to enjoy using them.